đời sống cần có một tấm lòng, để làm gì em biết không? Để gió cuốn đi, để gió cuốn đi, gió cuốn đi cho mây qua dòng sông. Ngày vừa lên hay đêm xuống mênh mông, ôi trái tim đang bay theo thời gian, làm chiếc bóng đi giao lời dối gian.
Living in this life, one needs to have a heart. What for, do you ask? It's to simply be carried away with the wind. Now, these are the very familiar lyrics of the song To Be Carried Away with the Wind by Vietnamese composer, very famous Vietnamese composer, Trịnh Công Sơn. These are also the guiding words of inspiration for a Vietnamese Canadian family who have been in a mission to lend a helping hand to underprivileged children here in Vietnam. Now, led by their mother, Đỗ Minh Hiếu, they have been here and been endlessly giving their endeavors out in order to make a difference and also to bring a brighter future to the children here in their home country, Vietnam. We'll get to meet them in the following report. The Dreams Fulfilled Relief Organization, DFRO, is a non-profit organization founded by Hiếu Minh Đỗ, an ambitious woman with a desire and devotion to make a difference, making changes to touch the lives of children living in Vietnam. DFRO aims to help underprivileged children in poor urban districts and remote rural areas, offering them the opportunity to reach their full potential. Since the inception of DFRO in November of 2007, together with DFO members, Hiếu and her 3 children, Teresa, Albert, and Richard, have conducted 6 cross-country trips to implement humanitarian aid programs in health and education and constructing vocational training institutes. This Canadian family of Vietnamese origin has been trying hard in order to offer Vietnamese children the opportunity to attend school and have the adequate resources in the school system. They all hope their efforts will make a difference and build a brighter future for many children here in Vietnam. Thank you very much, Hiếu and Teresa, for coming on to the show today. Now, I understand that you both, as well as the family of 4, are here in Vietnam on a charitable mission, cross-country. Now, tell me, what is the main focus for your trip this time?
Our main focus for this trip is to provide a long-term scholarship award to the poverty-stricken students in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm. How has it been going so far? Where have you been going?
Well, right now we're in the northern Vietnam part, and we started our program in central regions, and so we traveled from Nha Trang to Hội An to Huế, and then to Quảng Trị, Quảng Bình, and then we made our way to Hanoi.
Mm-hmm. Now, this charitable mission is it's part of your organization, Dream Fulfilled Relief Organization, also known as DFRO. Could you tell us, Hiếu, how was this organization created?
DFRO is a not-for-profit organization founded in Ontario, Canada on November 30th, 2007. We were also granted a license as international non-governmental organization to operate in Vietnam on August the 5th, 2008. Our mandate is international poverty relief. Mm-hmm. Because I'm Vietnamese, so I have chosen my homeland to start a project in order to help my people first. I'm mother of 3 children, so I love children. And children are innocent, and they are also the future of every country. They cannot protect themselves, so they need help from us. And like every child was born equally, but they don't have the same face.
Exactly.
So that's why we are here, and we want to help especially the children in Vietnam, to have a better future.
First project, DFRO's first project, you said the license was granted in 2008, and that was when you started this whole process of life-changing projects. Tell us about the very first one.
Our first project is included transforming the damaged garage to a massage therapy clinic center for the Hải Phòng school for visually impaired children in North Vietnam. From this massage therapy clinic center, the blind kids learn for the skill training, and they could have career, and they could provide food and every basic needs for themselves, and they also bring more income to the school.
Exactly.
And in doing this project, we also provide the special books to the visually impaired children, and we also given 3 years food supplement to 102 students.
This massage clinic at the school for the sight impaired is a DFRO project in Hải Phòng. The sight impaired students get practice at school and gain skills alongside their studies.
Giá trị của dự án thì nó không nhiều, tất cả toàn bộ là trị giá bằng hiện vật là 253 triệu. Nhưng mà chúng tôi cho rằng đây là một cái dự án nó rất là phù hợp với trường và cái hiệu quả rất là cao.
Another support recipient, Trịnh Thiến Đạt from a poor family in Thượng Lý ward of Hải Phòng City, suffers from brittle bone disorder. The 9th grader, nevertheless, has excelled in his studies and aspires to become an IT engineer. Today, Dad and 4 other students from Thượng Lý ward receive a scholarship from DFRO. The scholarship includes a monthly assistance of 480,000 Vietnam dong, as well as study materials.
Được sự giúp đỡ và quan tâm của nhiều người trong nước và ở ngoài nước ngoài, mà mọi người xung quanh để giúp đỡ em để em có được một cuộc sống tốt đẹp hơn.
In order to ensure that those most in need of assistance will receive support, DFRO periodically organizes inspection trips to the country's most impoverished regions. Since the organization started conducting such trips in January 2008, nearly 1,000 children from 15 cities and provinces have been provided with various means of support.
Và chúng tôi còn đánh giá được là khi trở về đất nước Canada thì bản thân chị Hiếu cũng như các thành viên trong tổ chức của chị Hiếu đã vận động những công dân Việt kiều của Canada ở Hải Phòng về trở lại, một là thăm trường để tỏ rõ cái việc làm của chị Hiếu đại diện cho tổ chức.
I think within a short period of time, having been able to assist hundreds of people is already an achievement.
A former stage performer, Hildo also has a special interest in nurturing any musical or artistic talent. Students receiving assistance from DFRO also assume a responsibility to excel in their studies, as the fulfillment of dreams comes not only with support but also with personal endeavors. For those interested, DFRO's achievements are listed on its official website, dfro.ca.
Well, most beneficiaries of your project are, as you said, poverty-stricken, very disadvantaged children. And these kind of projects, organizations to help children, are abundant worldwide, but each has their own approach. How about for your organization? How do you help children to realize their dreams?
Well, first of all, those qualified students will receive 480,000 Vietnam dong each month. And those money to help them, not just for food or basic needs. We can pay for the tuition fees. We can pay for the insurance, like the medical insurance. Maybe some kids doesn't have it, right? And for some children in Southern, they dream of having a bicycle, but they never have it in their lives. So with our support each month, and they could buy a bicycle to fulfill their dreams, right? So and then not just for that, by receiving the scholarship awards from our organization, we can increase the children's self-esteem. They can believe in the future, and they could becoming a good citizen, improving their lives, their knowledge, and to build Vietnam become the stronger and wealthier country.
Now, I understand there's also a motto for the organization. Tell me a little bit about this motto, Teresa.
It goes, give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day. Teach a man a fish and you'll feed him for a lifetime. I think if you examine that statement, the first sentence is, give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day. By giving that man a fish, you're fulfilling your charitable duty. You're feeding him, you're doing a good deed, and that's that. So his appetite will be satisfied for that day. But what happens when you leave? He will be hungry again, and then he will have no means or no other way of getting food and nourishing his appetite. And yet, if you teach a man to fish, not only will he be able to sustain himself once you're gone, he'll be able to transfer that knowledge onto other people. And so that motto not only fits with what we do as an organization, but it's, I don't want to say better, but it's a much more efficient way of bringing about change, because as an organization, our mandate is to help children. That's plural. We want to help as many people as possible to increase GDP, to reduce poverty. And so we cannot stay with one child or one person or one family throughout the rest of their lives, but we can give him the tools necessary for them to survive once we're gone.
Now, Teresa, you've been such a strong supporter, aside your mom here, in the project. And tell us a little bit about your role in the organization.
Well, Zung, my official titles are Executive Assistant and Youth Program Director. Those titles aside, I basically do whatever needs to be done in the organization. My main tasks are administrating. So I take care of the paperwork for the most part. I record meeting minutes. Since the organization was started, I took care of the website. I wrote the pamphlets and the brochures to send out to different sponsors and donors. But like I said, I just do a bit of everything. I connect our organization to potential sponsors, to partners in the community, to politicians, to business people. And I just pretty much help out my mother whenever she needs it. And because we're new, we need it.
Now, DFRO is very active in helping, as we have talked about here, helping disadvantaged children, children who are unfortunate, so that they could have a good stepping stone, a good ground to go forward and realize their dreams. So we'll take a look at some of the organization's activities in the following.
Đỗ Thị Minh Hiếu and DFRO members are taking Phong and Thương to the National Institute of Burns to prepare for a life-changing surgery. Coming from Quảng Trị, Phong has suffered from a facial disfigure following the acid burns since she was 8 months old. Meeting Mother Hiếu, Phong pins a great hope to have a new normal face like its friends.
Năm nay 13 tuổi, tên Phong, năm lớp 6 và rồi tới là phẫu thuật mặt.
Thì khi mình gặp cháu Phong á, thì mình xúc động liền, tại vì năm 2010 là năm mình giải phẫu cho thằng bé là bé Viet Nam Thường. Thì do đó là mình có đưa hai bà cháu về nhà, mình tìm hiểu nguyên nhân như thế nào. Và sau khi mình biết được câu chuyện cháu nó bị tạ axit này nọ đại khái như vậy, thì mình về mình bàn với cái tổ chức của mình bên Canada đứng ra tài trợ giải phẫu cho cháu Phong. Riêng cá nhân mình thì mình nhận Phong như một đứa con nuôi. Là mình tiền từ riêng của gia đình mình thì mình tài trợ nuôi cho Phong ăn học cho đến thực hiện được ước mơ của Phong là cháu ước mơ làm bác sĩ.
From Ninh Bình, 13-year-old Nguyễn Văn Thường was burned by boiling water at the age of 3. He's going to have face operation for the 3rd time, which will hopefully help him improve the ability to see and hear. Witnessing the adverse circumstance, Hill's children were so touched by the boy's story.
Mình tới đây đó, mình thấy cái này còn đau khổ hơn nữa. Tại vì mình làm nhưng mà mình làm không có bao đủ hết. Gặp Thường rồi đi thăm mấy đứa bé mới thấy là mình làm gì mới đáng sống.
She had the courage to go to Vietnam, start a charity, and then was able to help all these kids and change their future. And I'm inspired, because I might keep on doing it to help people in Vietnam.
Total costs for all the operations on Thương and Phong to regain normal faces are estimated at over $40,000. By giving them new faces, as Hiếu said, it's just one thing. What's more important to her is to give them more hope and more faith in life.
Now, we just saw a short clip here, Hiếu, about the case of Phong and Thương. Could you tell us a little bit about their stories?
Well, I met Thương in 2008 in our second cross-country trip. When I came to visit the Ninh Bình province social center, he was there, very shy and didn't say any word. And all of his face was burned by many scars like that. And I didn't ask any further information about him. But when I come back to Canada, I never forgotten his face. So that's why after we granted a license to operate our organization in Vietnam, and in the third cross-country trip, July 2009, I remember, I came back to Ninh Bình Social Center with other VNPRO members from Canada. And we learned more about his cases. So that's why I know that Thương was severely burned by boiling water at age 3.
Oh.
And he was abandoned, sent outside of Ninh Bình Social Center alone without any documents. So even, his date of birth and his name were given by the director of Ninh Bình Social Center. When the VNPRO members asked for his room, he would just sit, dreaming to have a normal face like other boys. That's all. Yeah.
Very simple dream.
That's right. Very normal dream, but it won't be easy, right? Because if nobody help him, he will never fulfill his dream. For Phong, I remember it was summer 2010. That's our fall cross-country trip. When I just arrived to Huế, I got the information that my mom was injured and she was emergency. And my siblings requested me to go back to Saigon right away in order to take care of my mother because I'm the older sister.
Exactly.
To be honest, I could not come back. 100 children are waiting for me and the VNPRO members. And I told them that I will pray for my mom in each province, wherever we come. That's why when we come to Quảng Trị province, I went to Mother Lavan, the Holy Land in Quảng Trị.
Right.
I came there to pray for my mom, and I saw forms, and it reminded me of Thương. I took Phong and his grandmother. Phong was a beggar at the church, and his grandmother was also there with him. They doing the same job, and I took them to their house to interview about their cases. So I learned that Phong was acid thrown with his mom when he was at 8 months old.
Oh.
Yeah, 8 months old.
It's a very young age.
That's right. And his mom was dead 1 month after that. His father abandoned him as well. I remember I asked his grandmother, why did she let him be a beggar at the church? And she said, well, he has no future anyway. That's what she said. And, after come back to Canada, I want to have fun. So that's why I discussed with DFRO director board in Canada, and we decide to assist him in surgery.
Phố đông người, một đứa bé đơn côi, hoang mang lạc loài không biết lối. Trời mùa đông lạnh lắm ai ơi, mẹ cha tôi người ở đâu rồi? Vì sao con đến nơi đây? Sao đêm con bò sữa chốn này? Cơn đau xưa hình hài con in dấu, nỗi đau này một kiếp ghi sâu. Ôi con mơ một ước mơ bình thường, mơ yêu thương dìu con bước trên đường. Qua bao đêm lệ tràn trong bóng tối, nhớ thương về một mái ấm xa xôi. Xin cho con tuổi thơ có tiếng cười, xin cho con được sống giữa tim người. Tin cuộc đời con tình yêu đưa lối, sau đêm dài là ăn thái dương sầu.
We just saw you perform a song here. It's a song that's named Ordinary Dream, and it was dedicated to the case of Thương, who we just talked about. Could you tell us a little bit about the process of writing this song? I mean, you're also into songwriting, yes?
Yeah. For Thương song, I was inspired to write this song by his real life story. So to be honest, it's very easy to me to write that song because it always in my heart. And to every musician, if they live with that, and it should come out easily, out a little lump sum in order to have to. Yeah. So I've been writing many songs about charitable songs, about 20. Totally, in my song were written, I think about 50 or 60 songs so far.
Đường đêm khuya vắng lẻ loi, bóng em thơ lạc lõng bên đời. Có gió bên hiên, nhà người đầy lặng gió, khát khao ngày hạnh phúc đã bay xa. Cha mẹ ơi, người ở đâu rồi? Mái ấm một thời, giờ là giấc mơ thôi. Trời cao hỡi có hay, một thằng bé đan dày, giọt lệ chảy đêm nay, thầm mơ ước một ngày. Yêu thương đến trong tay, một mái ấm sum vầy, tình người tràn nơi đây, đời thôi hết lất lây. Ôi nỗi đau nào chờ sẽ tim tôi, một đứa bé đơn côi vật vã giữa dòng đời. Bằng cha tuổi con tôi, sao đời em đầy bão nỗi cuộc đời từ đây hết bơ vơ. Xin người mở rộng vòng tay.
Now for you, Teresa, I know that you're in the third year of college, yes? How has this whole experience of being next to your mom, helping her out in the organization, traveling throughout Vietnam, meeting all these children who are at a disadvantage and being able to lend a helping hand to them, how has this whole experience kind of affected you?
It's definitely been humbling. I'm able to sort of compare and contrast my life in Canada to the lives of the people we've met in Vietnam, and I'm able to, it sounds very cliche, but I'm able to appreciate what I have a lot more, and that's just the least of it. Here I've learned a sort of endurance and inner strength that I never would have achieved on my own if I were to stay in Canada and not have gone on this trip. Just the will that you need to go day to day and to travel far and wide within Vietnam and to go into the really deep regions, which is the reason why I got sick. Just having that it's such a life lesson that you really can never learn in books or in school. And so this was a very worthwhile trip, and I'm very glad to have done it while I'm still in school and not busy with work once I graduate.
At 20 years old, Ching Teresa Do is an undergraduate studying journalism at Ryerson University in Toronto of Canada, where she was born. In November 2009, Teresa was crowned Miss Teen Von World to reign in her city for 2010 while competing in the Miss Teen Canada World Pageant. With her skills in media and self-promotion, she used her title to introduce and promote the Dreams Fulfilled Relief Organization. Those skills also propelled her to achieve the highest score in the competition's social media portion, with over 100 followers on her pageant blog. Although the pageant is long over and other Miss Teens have since been crowned, Teresa continues to use the lessons learned and her experiences to continue her charitable work with DFRO.
And I understand that back in 2010, you were crowned Canadian Beauty Queen, or Miss Teen Von World 2010. Could you tell us a little bit about this experience?
It was a big surprise, to say the least, because the night of the crowning, throughout the competition, throughout the first, because I went through a few different rounds in the competition, and I sort of took it very lightheartedly. I didn't take it seriously at all. It was something to do for fun. And so when I actually achieved something and I got my title, I was very surprised and very thrilled, to say the least. But it was just a very interesting experience.
Do you think after taking this title, I mean, you said you were surprised when you got the title, when you achieved the title. Do you think it changed you after?
Exactly. But after competing in this pageant and using my title, I've become kind of a PR spokesperson for DFRO, especially when we did interviews. And when I did interviews as Miss Teen Von on TV and whatnot, they would ask me, so how was the pageant? How was it like? What were your feelings? And then I would always try to shift the conversation to my charitable work and to DFRO. And I would pull out the pamphlets and the brochures and the pictures. And they would say, oh, okay, but I want to talk about the pageant. And I said, yes, I know, but the charity is sort of a subset of the pageant. And
it's not a subset anymore. It's part of who you are.
Exactly. And I think to get any attention, you need some sort of, I've always said that people will pay more attention to you if you sparkle. And this kind of sparkles.
Exactly. Do you find that being in this whole process of charitable works, of being part of DFRO, does it make you connect to Vietnam more?
Absolutely. Because you're basically in Canada anyways. When I talk about DFRO, I'm talking on behalf of the children we help in Vietnam. And so you're a representative, you're an ambassador of Vietnam at that point. It's a very small setting, but you're still representing Vietnam on the global scale. And so doing this work, I've had to learn a lot more Vietnamese. I've had to partake in many activities with Vietnamese people. And that just, it teaches you the sort of culture and customs of not necessarily Vietnam, but the Viet kieu outside of Vietnam. But in that sense, it's gotten me a lot closer to my heritage and my ethnic roots than doing anything else would have.
Mm-hmm. For you, Hiếu, within the family, do you make it a point to kind of get your children to be close to Vietnam, or to, in any sense, have a connection back to their roots?
Oh, yes, always. It's always. Like, my children always learning about Vietnam through my story. Until they say, "Mom, don't say anymore." Almost every day. I thought about, how did my parents raise me up, with all, even I got hit from them up to age 22. My father still hit me up to age 22. So they said, no, it's not in Canada, right? Anyway, like, I teach them following the Vietnamese culture. Teresa had to work, in a household work at age 1.
Wow.
Yeah, so whatever
What did you do at age 1? Do you remember?
Like, yes, every morning she had to clean the table.
Oh.
Like this. I trained my children to be, being responsible person, and how to rely, the lucky they have, by living in Canada, but they still had to learn, because Canada is a multicultural country anyway.
Yes.
They always encourage any immigrant to keep their own culture.
Exactly.
And we blended our culture with Canadian culture.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the good country that to live. So everything I teach Teresa always said, okay, you are Vietnamese, you have to do this, you have to do that. Especially like tin học lễ hậu học văn. Like in Vietnamese quote already have that. And I always, actually, in our family before, we always eat Vietnamese food. I always cook Vietnamese food. And I always teach Teresa, how to become a Vietnamese girl. And sometimes she told me, "Mom, I'm Canadian. I was born in Canada." I said, "No, you was born in Canada, but you had a Vietnamese blood." So that's why you had to learn, being a Vietnamese woman, because the Vietnamese woman is different to Western woman.
Mm-hmm.
Getting together and cooking Vietnamese food has always been a fun-filled time for Hiếu and her children. Hiếu loves cooking traditional Vietnamese food and is always eager to teach her kids how to cook. She believes that Vietnamese dishes will give them a good connection to the traditions and culture of their homeland.
Tôi rất là thích nấu ăn, phải nói là yêu luôn đó, phải nói. Tại vì đối với tôi thì nấu ăn nó là một cái nghệ thuật. Khi mà làm bếp ấy, thông thường là tôi hay gọi mấy cháu là mỗi đứa làm một cái, ví dụ như là nhặt rau hay là bỏ giá vô, đại khái như vậy là mấy cháu nó phải phụ. Khi mà nó yêu thích món ăn Việt Nam thì nó sẽ tìm hiểu cách nấu ăn Việt Nam, đúng không? Thì cái giống như là chính vì qua đó mà cái tên của Việt Nam luôn luôn ở trong lòng tụi nó.
Despite being raised and educated in Canada, Teresa enjoys preparing and enjoying Vietnamese traditional food. She's always excited to have a mother with the cooking, especially whenever her mother finds a new recipe to enrich the meals with traditional food.
I absolutely love Vietnamese food, so whenever my mom does cook Vietnamese, it's always fun. Especially when she makes spring rolls, because it becomes a family activity. We sit down and we work together to create this one dish. Cooking Vietnamese food is a really very strong effort to kind of keep our ethnic heritage alive.
Every now and then, Hiếu collects books, films, and any materials about Vietnam she can have, and use that to teach her children about Vietnam and the Vietnamese language.
Tôi giáo dục con tôi về Việt Nam
qua giống như là báo chí tôi coi, ví dụ vậy, những cái hình ảnh đứa bé Việt Nam nào giỏi tôi đưa ra cho các cháu, hay là những cái news về Việt Nam, hay là mỗi lần TV mà của ngoại quốc nhưng mà nó chiếu về Việt Nam thì tôi cũng gọi con tôi ra coi, nó hay như vậy. Và hội chợ Tết này nọ tôi đưa đến để cho nó nhớ lại cái truyền thống Việt Nam. Và ngày Tết của trong gia đình mình thì vẫn có trưng bày y chang như Việt Nam, cũng hoa mai, hoa đào, cũng bánh chưng này nọ, và tất cả món ăn thì hầu hết là Việt Nam rồi. Thì tôi nghĩ đó là cái hình thức để mình nhắc nhở con mình nó là người Việt Nam.
Despite living in Canada, the children of Hiệu are fluent in Vietnamese. Hiệu said she insists on two most important things in educating her children, being Vietnamese and absorbing Vietnamese culture in the work and life.
How do you find cooking Vietnamese food or eating it?
I absolutely love Vietnamese food. It's so healthy. I never used to think so, because when you're a kid, especially over there, there's McDonald's, there's Burger King, there's KFC.
I don't want any veggies.
Exactly.
Also in today's studio is Hio's two sons, Teresa's younger brothers, Albert and Richard. Hey guys, come on. How are you guys today?
I'm great.
Awesome. Thank you very much for coming on to Talk Vietnam. Richard, how old are you?
I'm 12 years old.
And Albert?
I'm 15.
Awesome. Now, how long have you guys been in this whole process with your mom and your sister in DFRO?
Well, DFRO started in 2007, but we started doing charity work in 2008.
What was your very first project?
I think our very first project was simply just putting the donation boxes together and dispersing it around Ontario.
What do you think of participating in the work and kind of the charitable work with your mom and your sister and the whole family?
Well, at first, I thought it was kind of boring. But then after we started doing it and I came to Vietnam, I realized what our work has gone to and how all these kids have been supported by DFRO.
How about for you, Albert?
It's a really great experience. I mean, at first I didn't really appreciate it that much, and I didn't understand how it was that important because I was little, and all I cared really was watching TV and little things like that. But after I realized, entering grade 7, I realized lots of people around the world need help, and instead of doing nothing, it's better to do something. So at the end of the day, at least you did, even though it's small or meaningful, it means still a lot.
But for you, Albert, meeting the children, what do you think? I mean, you've kind of heard about the charitable works, about what your mother, your sister, and even your brother have been doing, and now seeing it for yourself, how different is it?
Well, meeting the children are basically the same as kids in Canada. Like, they want to have fun, they want to live a good life. So seeing that, meeting them, it's just like a feeling that you want to help. You want to help them have the life that you had. And as they get older, they can have a normal life like you did. So it's kind of a responsible feeling, like it overtakes you.
What have you guys done so far as part of the organization?
Well, what we've done is, of course, we started first in Canada. And what we did was helping at our galas and fundraisers by raising money and selling roses, keychains, and selling raffle tickets. I've also done silly things like Teresa face painted my face and she made it into a clown face. And I had to go around handing balloons to children just to attract people to donate to our charity.
Very exactly. Wonderful. Cool. How about you, Albert?
Well, agreeing with Richard, I've also helped with that.
Any clown faces?
No, but we've actually started this last year, but we started a golf tournament, which helped bring in lots of funds. And I helped the golfers get ready to go out on the course, and I also helped sell things during the actual dinner too. So small things, but at the end of the day, they give their own value.
Thank you very much, the whole family, for coming on to Talk Vietnam. As part of kind of wrapping up the show, I know you three are notorious for sometimes, occasionally, bugging and driving your moms nuts with singing and your songs. And I know you prepared a little bit of something for today. So could you possibly share with us what that is?
tried to be chill, but you're so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks, and now I'm trying to get back. Before the cool done run out, I'll be giving it my bestest, but nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn some, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours.
I've been spinning way too long, checking my tongue in the mirror and bending over backwards just to try to see it clearer. My breath fogged up the glass, and so I drew a new face and laughed. I guess what I'm saying is there ain't no better reason to rid yourself of vanity and just go with the seasons. It's what we aim to do. Our name is our virtue. I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm sure there's no need to complicate. Our time is short. It cannot wait. I'm yours. No, I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm sure there's no need to complicate. Our time is short. Well, look into your heart.